All right, good morning. What we got today is my 1997 F-150 4x4 Lariat with the 5.4 liter. And I've sold a couple of cars recently, so this is now my daily driver. It's got the, I think the 4R100 automatic in it, 4-speed. Very, very solid truck, no rust. Texas truck originally. I've had it since 2010. I knew the original owner extremely well, and so I know how it was treated. But I've been, keeping it going over time. It has currently 242,000 miles on it, and everything's running great. It's original engine, original transmission, original rear end, original front end. They've never been opened up. Obviously, I've replaced parts as they wore out. I mean, it's got replacement springs in the back, the four-wheel drive motor, one of the four-wheel drive solenoids. The transfer case is all original, but the thing that shifts failed. They do. A lot of the shocks, bushings, A-arms, wear parts. I just did the steering, replaced the steering box a couple of weeks ago. Pitman arm was junk, so little ball joints, things like that, but nothing seriously mechanical. And the truck shows no signs of slowing down. I think I've done 2 coils since I've had it, the number 5 and the number 7. But I just do those as they fail. If I go on real long trips, I take one with me, just in case. But what I've noticed is recently the rear end chatters a little bit when I'm going around corners, and it didn't used to do that. It's a limited slip, 9 3/4. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to rebuild the clutch packs. And as you can see, I have removed the wheels and the drums from both sides, and this is what's going to go back in. I've got the full kit with the Belleville washers. That's the kit you need with the Belleville washers for the 4, 9 3/4. That YPKF 9.75 PC-2. These are the steel packs and the shims. That's the Bellevilles, and the friction materials themselves are actually under that thing in a bucket, soaking in some of this stuff. Ford friction modifier. There's your number for that. That is some of the most terrible smelling garbage that exists, and that's why I got it covered up, because it stinks. But they say to do that so that when you put them together, I guess you don't burn them immediately. I'm going to be putting it back together with AMSOIL Severe Gear 75 W140, mainly because I like AMSOIL. I run it in everything, and it's always been good for me. And that's what we're going to be doing. If you've watched any other YouTube videos, you see everybody always makes a little tool to help spread them apart. There it is, 2.5 inch, half 13 carriage bolt with some 5/8 washers on it. We'll see how that works. But so anyway, what I've done, I've taken it down. I've opened the rear end. I've also taken the spare tire out, and that's really worth doing because you got a pretty good amount of room under here. I mean, I'm sitting up right now with no issue. But that's the rear end. Yeah, it's the inside. See the spider gears in there, and I'm going to try to get some more light on this as we go. Here's the pin that you have to pull. That kit actually came with a new pin, which is nice. But one of the things I'm going to try to see if we can do, my dad's coming over to help me with this, is all the videos that I've seen, which are very helpful as to how this has to be done, because it's a little tricky because of the spring force involved. None of them show the actual moment when they rotate the spider gears back in once the new friction packs are all installed, because that's the hard part. So nobody holds the camera. So I got a couple of new clampy things for the GoPro, and I think I've got a few places up here I can stick it. And I'm going to attempt to catch that when we get to that point, as far as how this gets done, just because I think it'll be interesting, and I think it'll help people going forward when they have to do this to know exactly what you got to do and how you got to get your hand crushed in it in order to make sure that the stuff lines up properly. So, yeah, I mean, as you can see, just kind of bragging on the truck a little bit. This is 20 years old, 242,000 miles, and there is not a spot on it. And it's still fantastic. So I definitely want to keep this baby going as long as possible. So that's about it for the preamble, and we are going to take a step back. I'm going to set this camera up, see what I can capture, and then I'm going to start disassembling this thing.